Now, schools are being urged to take a new approach to dealing with bullying by encouraging bystanders to step in and take control.
Psychiatrists say group dynamics play a big part in encouraging bullies. Professor Stuart Twemlow is an American psychiatrist with a special interest in bullying and violence in schools. He's in Melbourne for a public lecture and he joins us now in the studio. Good morning and thanks for your time.
No problem.
Why aren't the methods that are being used in schools at the moment, why aren't they working?
Well, because they're not addressing the people that are the problem.
And who are those people?
The bystanders.
And what we talked about them stepping in, what practically should people do?
Yeah, look at it this way. Bullies will only do what bystanders let them. The bully is like the actor on stage who won't act unless there's an audience watching them. The audience is where the cause is. The bully is sort of a pawn in the process. He acts out what the group wants him to do. So if the bystanders are there clapping, the bully will act on. Bullies love an audience. And if there's no audience, the bully will simply say, I've got nothing to do.
You had involvement with authorities after the Columbine school massacre. How have you seen the approach to school bullying change since then?
I would say in a nutshell, the American government is beginning to conclude that anti-bullying programs are a waste of time because they're targeting the wrong people. There's a move towards looking at total school climate, we would say the bystanders, and trying to get them to see the problem lies in the group, not in the bully or the bully's victim.
But when we're talking bystanders, we're talking in this case other kids who may be absolutely terrified of the bully.
They often are.
Why should they? How can they be encouraged to
They only can do that,
up?
Right, good point. They only do that if all of them decide it's the thing to do. Never go up to a bully by yourself. You always got to take your friends. So if you go up there with 10 friends, a bully's not going to whack you.
And is this experience universal? Can it be applied to what's happening in Australia as well?
You know, I think so. We work throughout the United States, Jamaica, Hungary, and Australia, and we're just learning a little bit about this. But the program here called CASI, the name itself doesn't mention schools. It focuses on the environment in the school. And it's easy to do in the sense that it helps children think through their role as a bystander. Once kids are on that, I mean, they love it. Some schools, they call themselves heroes. You're a hero or an upstander. And you've got a very good school in Churchill. Churchill's a place with a 30% unemployment. And it's a small Catholic school that's really taken off with the kids who run this program. It doesn't take much time from the teachers or parents. The kids do it. There's a marvelous little video, I think we're going to show this tonight, with a school bully who now is an upstander, and he loves it. See, bullies don't like being bullies. None of them do.
But we've seen bullying change from being something that you experienced out on the playground to something that you experience on a computer screen now in terms of social media, Facebook. How has that changed the approach that schools need to take?
Well, you've raised a question I can't answer. I mean, at the moment, one of the weird things is adults know very little about computers and kids know a whole lot more. We need to start asking young people what to do about this. I mean, the principles in cyberbullying are the same. You know, there's a powerful person trying to harass a less powerful. But how to actually solve it, there are millions of ways of doing it. The typical way would be being moral and ethical with the way you use Twitter and Facebook. Setting up rules never works, really, because as soon as I see a rule, I want to break it, you know. And the big issue is it's a social phenomenon. Bullying is a social process. It's not a person. And what we're doing is getting together with groups of intelligent kids saying, how would you manage cyberbullying? I don't really know enough about computers at my age to say that.
Going back to the school situation, a lot of bystanders can sadly be teachers, and I know in the United States there's very much a hands-off approach, whether it's for legal reasons or whatnot. How can teachers, both in the United States and here, be encouraged to take a more active role?
Everybody has to be very aware that teachers bully students. Also, parents bully teachers. Teachers bully teachers. Students in high school terrorize teachers. I've been in schools where in the teacher's break room, every teacher is asleep from stress.
Really?
These are, we call them undiscussables. I think that was a term invented in Australia. And it's just horrifying. And if you don't talk about that, the first step is get it out front. It remains like a white elephant in the background that nobody talks about.
But how can teachers be motivated to play a more, in your words, upstanding role?
Yeah, part of what we do is we call it engineered conflict. We go in and say, we're really rather stupid, but we do hear teachers bully students. Is that true? And then all the teachers look at each other and, you know, then I say, well, actually, everybody really is a bully. You're a bully, you are, and so am I. Is that, it's not a pathological thing. It's normal human function. These are roles. They're not psychiatric illnesses. And then what you'll find is just about every teacher will say, I bully. Of course you bully. It's not a moral depravity. It's just normal. Okay, now, if a kid gets out of control and you do something you regret later, how do you manage that? Now, little by little, it becomes a process of getting it out. Then the teachers see they're not morally depraved or psychiatrically ill. They're just teachers who lose control like everybody else does. Once it becomes something you can talk about, it's okay.
Professor Stuart Twemlow, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Nice for having me.